the Beach Boys, I played guitar on their early records, you know, and
like Help Me Rhonda type stuff.
Oh no, that's bass. That's my first bass record. Was Help Me Rhonda. That's the first record I did with them on bass.
Wow.
And it's like physically, you know, and I kept the strings real high in those days. I mean, the bass was a real physical instrument. I kept it real high, and I used the Fender P bass with the Super Reverb amp.
Uh-huh.
And they always mic'd me. They always mic'd me. Never took it through the board.
Uh-huh.
You know, I got a pretty good sound. Even on some of the Motown days, you know, like Love Child and Bernadette, I played bass on.
Uh-huh.
I added more bottom, but they mic'd me on that stuff too. You know, and but the Beach Boys, it took a lot of takes too. You know, it seems like Phil Spector kind of like set the standard. It was okay to go 6 hours on one tune, you know, which we did, and they used all studio guys except for Carole. Carole would be in the booth on 12-string. You know, like mostly 12-string he played.
Yeah.
You know, and he'd sit and play with us, but he'd be in the booth, and then the rest of us, it'd be Lyle Ritz played acoustic bass. There was an acoustic bass on there too. You know, but it was more like, I don't know. You know, you couldn't hear the acoustic bass except you can hear it. I mean, like on Good Vibrations, for a while there's two parts there. You know, like I played the higher part. Dee 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 dee. You know.
Did you come up with that line?
No, that's Brian's stuff. Now Brian wrote all of his lines. Once in a while I played a fill or something. You know, that was mine. But I can't lay claim to any of Brian's bass lines. But the feel, if you listen to Good Vibrations, that feel is a jazz feel. It's a walking feel. You know, that's pure jazz. You know, and Brian was greatly influenced by jazz. He was influenced by the Four Freshmen. You know, the way they sung.
Yeah.
And Barney Kessel and Howard Roberts and I were constantly on those days, and we were constantly being amazed by Brian. Because he's the one that arranged it all, and he came up with all the ideas and everything. You know, we met the other Beach Boys; they were really nice and all that. But it was Brian's talent, really, that really did all that stuff. And I played on the Pet Sounds album. I played bass on except one tune. There's one tune on the Pet Sounds album.
Is that a Beach Boy album?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. In fact, that's George Harrison's favorite album.
Really?
It's a Pet Sounds album. A lot of people like that album. It's a very,
wow.
I mean, it's a very creative album.